Imagine a millionaire walks into the wilderness with a heavy bronze chest. Inside, gold coins, ancient artifacts, rubies, emeralds, a golden dragon bracelet, worth over $1 million. He buries it. He walks away. And then he tells the world, not with a map, not with GPS coordinates, with a poem. 9 clues, 24 lines. And somewhere out there in the Rocky Mountains, a chest full of gold is just sitting there, waiting. Over the next 10 years, over 350,000 people go looking. They quit their jobs. They drain their savings. They drag their families into the mountains. And some of them never come back. This is the story of Forrest Fenn's treasure hunt. To understand why this happened, you need to understand who Forrest Fenn was. He wasn't some eccentric nobody. He was a highly respected art dealer based in Santa Fe, New Mexico. He spent decades buying and selling rare artifacts and priceless antiques. But in 1988, he was diagnosed with kidney cancer. Doctors gave him a low chance of survival. And as he sat with that diagnosis, he started thinking about legacy. That's when the idea hit him. He would fill a chest with the most beautiful, valuable things he owned and hide it somewhere in the wilderness. A final gift to the world from Forrest Fenn. Except Fenn didn't die. He beat the cancer. And in 2010, at 79 years old, he published a memoir with a poem inside. That poem, he claimed, contained everything a person needed to find a bronze chest filled with gold, hidden somewhere in the Rocky Mountains. Now here's where it gets interesting. This wasn't a simple treasure map. It started with these lines. Begin it where warm waters halt and take it in the canyon down. Not far, but too far to walk. Put in below, the home of Brown. That's it. That's your clue. Where do warm waters halt? What's the home of Brown? Is Brown a person? A place? A color on a map? When those lines hit the internet, people lost their minds. Forums exploded with theories. People cross-referenced geography, history, Native American culture, and Fenn's entire biography. Every single word was debated. Every comma, every capital letter. And yet, Fenn said a person could find the treasure with just the poem and a good map. That narrowed it down to Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico, or Montana. In other words, an enormous amount of wilderness. And still people were convinced they could crack it. Let me paint you a picture of what this looked like in real life. A retired teacher spends 3 years mapping every river in New Mexico. A software engineer builds a custom algorithm to analyze Fenn's word choices. Couples went on treasure hunting road trips that turned into month-long expeditions. People used up their vacation days, their savings, their marriages. Fenn became a cult figure. He'd drop small hints in interviews, and thousands of people would rush to a new location. And here's what made it so addictive. Almost everyone was certain they were about to find it. You'd decode the poem, identify a spot, drive out there, hike in, and you'd feel it. That electric feeling that you were the one. And then you'd find nothing. Go home and start analyzing the poem again. That cycle consumed people for years. But this story gets dark. The Rocky Mountains are not forgiving. And when you send thousands of motivated, sometimes unprepared people into remote wilderness, bad things happen. Search and rescue teams across 4 states started finding people in strange, isolated locations, way off any trail. When asked why they were out there, the answer kept coming up: Fenn's treasure. At least 5 people died searching. People drowned in rivers, fell off cliffs, got lost in canyons. Law enforcement publicly urged Fenn to call off the hunt. He refused. And still people kept searching. As years passed, a different conversation started. What if there was no treasure? Fenn had sold books. He was getting attention, doing interviews, appearing on documentaries. Some people hired lawyers, some demanded proof. Fenn stuck to his story. The treasure was real. Someone would find it eventually. And then, after 10 years of nothing, someone did. In June 2020, Fenn posted a short message online. The treasure chest has been found. The internet exploded. The finder was later identified as Jack Staueff, a medical student from the eastern United States. He said he had solved the poem, and the location made complete sense once you understood it correctly. Photos were released. The chest was real. Gold coins, nuggets, jade carvings, a turquoise bracelet, ancient artifacts, just like Fenn had described. And Forrest Fenn passed away just 3 months later in September 2020. He was 90 years old. But the story doesn't end cleanly. Lawsuits were filed. People claimed the location was fake or that the chest had been moved. Searchers who had spent years narrowing it down to a specific canyon felt cheated. And the bigger question